Hello, my name is Austin Roberts. I'm here to talk about Rivet. If you check the agenda, you would see that Beth Van Horn is supposed to be talking about Open Relay. Rivet is Open Relay, but Beth Van Horn could not be here today. I found out about 9:30 this morning that I was going to be doing this talk. Beth is home recovering from surgery. She's doing well. But as I say, I'm here to talk about Rivet, the best blockchain gateway on Earth. I always like to start off talking about our founding team. First, you have me, Austin Roberts. I am our CEO and our technologist. I have a wide array of experience architecting and designing systems that are operationally manageable. I've been working with Beth doing this for about 12 years, and Greg has been working with us for over a decade. And the three of us put together make a very well-rounded founding team. Beth is our chief operating officer. She makes sure that the trains run on time and that we're focusing on the right things. And Greg is our CXO. The X is a placeholder for all the different things he does for us. He has a law background. He has marketing background. And so he serves a wide range of purposes there for us. Now, Rivet has been a blockchain gateway serving the Ethereum network since 2019. Our customers say that we are the best blockchain gateway on Earth because of our fast, easy signups. It takes about 45 seconds to sign up for Rivet, and then you're off and running building your application. Compared to some of our competitors, we've had customers who thought they were going to have to get out their lawyers and negotiating hats. It's really that easy to sign up with us. We have an industry-leading price. We have no friction payments. We take crypto for customers who would prefer to pay with crypto, and we take credit cards for people who that is the easier way to pay. We have an ironclad privacy policy that protects our customers from us, not just us from our customers. And we have set and forget quality. We have the highest uptime guarantees in the industry, and we have easy auto scaling to be able to deal with increased demand. We have had considerable traction over the last several years, having served, by this point in the year already, about 20 billion requests to our customers. The problem that we originally set out to solve is that blockchain nodes are expensive and hard to operate at scale, but we've done that. We are the largest service provider for the Ethereum Classic blockchain. We are one of the biggest service providers for the Ethereum blockchain. We're getting ready to launch Polygon. We know how to operate blockchains at scale. The problem that we're trying to solve now is that while major networks are well supported by a competitive market of providers, the majority of L2 protocols struggle because node capacity is unavailable or unreliable. And we want to help address that. So for some of the biggest networks out there, there are reliable infrastructure providers, and we are one of them. But there are a lot of underserved networks that need reliable infrastructure. Without reliable infrastructure, they can't get bridges to help them connect with other chains. They can't get decentralized marketplaces. They can't get NFT marketplaces. Reliable infrastructure is a key component for all of these networks to really thrive. My clicker's not working. Am I supposed to point this somewhere? Okay, there we go. So we have a three-phase plan for helping Rivet become the best blockchain gateway and node capacity network on planet Earth. Phase one is already done. We built and deployed our Cardinal technology stack. This is what allows us to bring new EVM chains on board, scale them efficiently, and provide fast, cheap service to our customers. Phase two is about expanding out and helping more chains come on board. So what we want to do is create a network infrastructure DAO template, enabling community governance of development of reliable endpoints for any given network. Essentially, we want to go to each chain that needs reliable infrastructure and help them set up a DAO to fund that infrastructure from their community. So throughout this presentation, we'll be working with a hypothetical example that we're calling HighChain. So we would go to HighChain, find the people in the HighChain community, and crowdfund the resources that they need to have a reliable infrastructure provider for HighChain. We will be looking to sell governance tokens to key network stakeholders and core contributors. These will be the people developing out the network, the people who have invested in the network, people who are building applications on the network and are sorely lacking reliable infrastructure. And they will get governance tokens that will help them, allow them to help guide the network infrastructure spend for their network. In the first part of phase 2, we're going to be developing a model for this and doing it with a couple of chains. The model that we're looking at is what we're calling a DAO on Rails. So the idea is that we're going to set up a development contract that pays for the development necessary to ensure that Rivet's open source software works with their network. We're going to have a hosting contract that pays for the ongoing hosting of an endpoint that Rivet, hosted by Rivet once that development process is complete. And if funding is unsuccessful, the funds obtained so far will revert to their original contributors. So this is going to serve a market research purpose as well as a fundraising purpose. If we can't find enough interested parties in having reliable infrastructure for this chain, then there's probably not a whole lot of point in us building there. So once our HighChain network endpoint is active, Rivet will provide a scaling rebate that increases as the network's builders generate more and more revenue. This will start by reducing the amount that the DAO has to pay into Rivet's hosting contract on a month-by-month basis. And once they reach a break-even point, we will actually start kicking money back to the DAO's treasuries so that they can pursue additional infrastructure projects for that project, for that network. In terms of the opportunity, Layer 2 chains have been growing at a rate of knots over the past year. Just in 2022 alone, Polygon has hit 37,000 different applications building on it. This is a 400% increase just over the course of 2022 so far. And Polygon is just one of several Layer 2 chains that are growing rapidly. Here is a collection of different projects that are building on Layer 2s or building Layer 2s. Some of the Layer 2s include Polygon, Optimism, the POA network. So as you can see, there are a lot of different projects that are building in this space. Over the long term, we have, there's supposed to be more on this slide. I think it rendered some stuff in the wrong order. But across a whole bunch of different industries over the next 10 years, we see potentially $37.5 trillion of transactions that could be mediated by blockchains. And so the opportunity here, this is a very large industry across governments. Trying to remember some of the things that are under that circle. General IT, shipping, all sorts of things have transactions that could potentially be mediated by through blockchain transactions. And all of those are presumably going to be happening on Layer 2s that are going to need service providers like Rivet. So as we're raising funds, the ways we're going to deploy investment capital, we're looking at a legal review of the template DAO crowdfunding mechanism that we're working on. We are planning on bringing on 8 new hires to help both with the development process of bringing on new chains and to reach out and form relationships with the different organizations and help get the DAOs built. The investment is going to fund ongoing operations and we would put some of the capital towards marketing, sales, and ongoing conferences like this one. Once we get past this next raise, and we're looking at the one after that, the goal is to repeat phase 2A at scale, creating an assembly line of new networks to feed into the infrastructure DAO process. So we would be looking at, having one DAO that's starting to raise funds while another DAO is starting to do the development work and another DAO is starting to get their infrastructure online, and more DAOs are coming online on a regular basis. Then, beyond that, once we have brought a lot of these DAOs online, we want to create a decentralized marketplace for this infrastructure so that it's not just us as the service provider. At the end of the day, we'd like to create something that looks like a smart grid, where it's not just one big power plant pumping electricity through the electric lines, but what we would like to see is for an individual project that would like to run their own nodes. Maybe they have higher availability requirements or higher integrity requirements and don't want to use a third-party service provider. They want to run their own nodes. But if they're running our open source stack, just the base level that guarantees high availability is going to give them way more capacity than a typical project needs. So we want to enable them to sell off their extra capacity to the rest of the network through a decentralized marketplace. And then maybe if they need surge capacity, they themselves could go out to the network and get more capacity than they can provide, in much the same way that somebody running a solar panel, if they need more service than their solar panel, or more electricity than their solar panels are able to provide, they can go to the grid and get it. But if their solar panels are generating more than they need, they can sell it off to the rest of the grid. In phase 3, we're aiming to create and deploy that decentralized marketplace layer to enable applications based on our Cardinal stack and operate and sell off their extra capacity to a wider marketplace. And eventually we want to launch a parent DAO to empower the Rivet community to share in the management and direction of the multitude of infrastructure DAOs, the software development that all of those infrastructure DAOs are likely to be relying on, and harmonize them with a shared vision and create the best node capacity network on Earth. We're looking to raise $5.5 million. We are working with our existing investors on these terms. If it were about 2 weeks later than now, I would be able to give you a lot more details on the terms. But this conference is when it is, so we're still working out some of these details. If you have questions for me and my team, we have a booth over that way, and we would be happy to discuss in detail. Thank you.